And we're live.
We are live.
Round 4 or 5.
Round 4 or 5.
We have David King.
David King on the left.
And Matt L.
Matty L.
Seems good. On the right. I don't know what either player is playing. Do you?
No. I know that Mr. King is playing some sort of blackness.
That does sound like something he would do. He does write an article.
It appears I'm right.
Yes, he is on the play.
He has a fistful of darkness.
David King writes an article for Dayton Magic Club called Black Magic, where he writes about black. And
he loves his black magic.
He does. So that is a temple. So it looks like black-white control, maybe?
Yes.
Is Matt playing...
Matt's a control player.
He likes to play control, although he did for a long time play the various different Delver builds. He was like Geist and stuff. So.
Yes. He's a big Geist fan. Geist St. Draft. But he's not around anymore, as with Delver.
And that is another temple scrying a swamp to the bottom.
He says, let me see what you got there,
Let's see what you got, buddy.
Matt says, this is what I got.
blue-white control. So it's a control mirror.
As predicted. Yeah, a control mirror.
One of them is going to be full of counterspells.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one's going to have discard. And a lot of removal spells that are probably not going to be particularly good.
No.
Game 1.
Mr. King took the Azorius Charm from Matt.
He did. That is true.
Matt had access to
it all.
Divination and Dissolve.
Let's see if we're going to...
And he says Lifebane Zombie.
Lifebane Zombie.
That may have been part of his plan.
All right. So, Lifebane Zombie is basically just a dude.
What happened just then?
He revealed his hand, and it had no targets.
Has to be creature?
It does. Green and white creature. It's a Lifebane, not like Spellbane Zombie.
Not just Bane Zombie?
It's not just Bane Zombie. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Ryan Johnsen in the booth with last week's FNM winner.
Noah Ross.
He's very proud of that accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
And we are here, Dayton Magic Club Live from Gamehaven, where you get more for your games.
Where you get more for your games.
I don't know why you'd want to get less for your games.
You don't want to get less. You want to get more.
So we saw a divination there.
Matt restocking his hand there. He says Sin Collector, which is a highly effective card in this
That is a good Magic the Gathering card.
Looks like point, Matt drew into some land.
Yeah.
Matt has in his hand Spring Verdict and a Azorius Charm and a Dissolve.
So, at this point, you got to take the Wrath.
He took the Wrath.
And
he's got some, while Sin Collector is just a little 2-1, in this matchup, it could be enough.
Right, and what's Matt going to do? Azorius Charm it?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to redraw the Sin Collector.
No, you don't want to redraw.
It's not Tide Hollow Scholar. You don't get the card back when it leaves play. So, David actually assembling a pretty good amount of pressure here.
Yeah.
His discard spells have been pretty effective.
5 a turn. And
Matt doesn't have like a whole lot of time to draw out of this.
No, he does not.
And we know that his hand is mostly lands.
A lot of land.
Overall, I would say that Matt is probably favored game 1. Just because I assume that David has a lot of creature removal.
He's going to dissolve that. He's scrying.
And David's certainly no stranger to black-based control.
Yeah.
This is not his first rodeo. This is not his first time trying to beat a blue-white control deck with this deck. So, this deck is just savage on the hand. Lifebane Zombie.
And Sin Collector.
And Sin Collector and targeted discard.
Yes.
Like, that is...
Those spells are really good.
Yes.
In this matchup. Sin Collector is almost a dead card in a green-white matchup. Where Lifebane Zombie is an all-star.
Very good, right.
But in this matchup, it's the opposite.
And David's solution is playing both.
Playing both.
Yeah, put that
definitely Lifebane Zombie back on top. Right there. Lifebane Zombie is not completely dead, though, because it...
And now we're going to read the bones.
He's going to read them bones.
To the bottom.
He says, you know what, Lifebane Zombie?
Probably.
You're awesome, but...
I'm curious as to why he left one white up, as opposed to leaving a black mana for, say, like a Duress or something.
He said, I like those.
Okay.
He said, I like those.
Got the good bones. You know, at this point, I can see keeping the Lifebane Zombie just because you want the 3 power. You want to close this game out fast.
He wants power. He says Elspeth.
For example, before Elspeth comes down. Now, Lifebane Zombie can attack right through those tokens.
Yes, it can.
But...
However...
it's still really a very good Magic the Gathering card. And certainly not something you wanted to see resolve against you in your Black White. Now, he could also have Hero's Downfall to kill it.
He does have Hero's Downfall.
Yeah, okay. He read them both. Said nice 6 mana, 3/1/1s.
There you go. That's a really bad time.
Hero's Downfall is a great piece of removal that we had access to as like a Black X control deck because it's a piece of removal that's good in the control mirror. Or before that would have been a murder or something. They would have just been completely dead there.
Doomblade.
So, yeah. Like,
or something.
How embarrassing would that have been?
Yeah. You just get to sit there and look at your murder for the entire game. Or you could use it on one of his
and then regret a lot of decisions that you've made.
Yeah, and you feel bad about it.
But there, you know, these tokens aren't going to be enough against that Lifebane Zombie. They are not winning the race. He decides to Doomblade 1 because why not? It's not doing anything else.
He trades.
Yeah.
Matt's list of threats is pretty low.
Yeah.
That is a win condition. Elspeth make dudes.
Yep. It's a very good win condition against decks that don't just have it all.
Yes.
For example. So
looks like a whip. And he says Lifebane Zombie. Okay.
I like the idea of just whipping Sin Collectors at people.
Yeah.
Oh, because they don't get the card back. That's awesome, actually. Ride the old Sin Whip.
The Sin Whip.
Ghost Ride the Sin Whip. So
right now, he's going to swing in for 1.
Now, Matt's got some cards in his hand.
Might as well.
One
thing to consider is that Matt has 7 available mana. Oh, yes. Frostborn Weird. Okay.
Also, doesn't do anything.
Well, it blocks Lifebane Zombie.
Yeah, Lifebane Zombie has Intimidate.
Oh, never mind.
That's why it's a good Magic card.
Oh, yeah, that's
Okay, Azorius Charm again. Let's see if he can just bone it up.
Bone it up, he says.
Now, my question is, if you have Whip, do you just jam Whip here? I think that's what we're going to see. No.
No, he says a Blood Baron.
Blood Baron. Protection from White.
Pro-White.
Good at Elspeth Assassination.
That is absolutely correct. What's he get?
So,
Matt's looking for a Sphinx's Revelation right here.
Yep. Sphinx's Revelation is pretty good. It's a divination, probably. Yep.
It's divination. It says, please be Sphinx's Revelation.
Fun trivia fact. What was the first divination? First time we ever saw sorcery speed, 2 colors and a blue, draw 2.
Ever?
Ever.
I don't remember.
I think it's Council of the Soratami. I think it was that late.
Really?
I think it was that late.
Drawing more than 1 card.
I can't name a card. Looks like we just saw an answer to... Oh, we had Elspeth come down and...
Elspeth and...
-3.
Yes.
Kill the Blood Baron.
The middle ability to get rid of Blood Baron. Blood Baron is really, really tough for Matt to deal with. Yep. It's tough for everybody to deal with, but... Oh, he's got a whip.
That's the whip.
Well, you know. That's pretty good.
Yes, I agree with that assessment.
Matt says, "What's this card do?"
Well, it's going to throw...
He's going to throw
Lifebane
a lot of things at you. Lifebane Zombie, that Blood Baron will come back.
Oh, I like that too.
Sin Collector's going to come back, and it gives all your creatures lifelink.
So, does he have a Doomblade in his hand, or a 2-mana removal spell? Is that a Hero's Downfall?
I kind of think it was.
Because he needs to deal with this Frostburn Weird. Because a Frostburn Weird is actually a reasonable clock.
Matt says, don't worry about pumping it. That's not good for David.
Yes.
Because
that, to me, is
screaming
Sphinx's Revelation.
Giant Sphinx's Revelation right here. David appears to have drawn a land. He says, this guy.
Blood Baron, yep. And we're going to almost certainly see a Sphinx Revelation. No, I don't see a Sphinx Revelation in his hand. Did you? He just flashed it real quick.
I didn't notice.
As a mono red player, I feel like I can smell the Sphinx Revelation.
You can smell it from here. He says, swing in.
He's
At Elspeth, interesting. He says 1 blue.
Well, he does want Elspeth to get up high enough to...
and Quicken.
Yep. These decks are playing Quicken. It is a cantrip and lets you play like Instant Speed Wrath. I don't hate it.
No, it's not the worst option.
I don't love it.
No.
But then again, I'm not like a mono or a blue control playing psychopath, so... There's that Lifebane zombie we knew about. Look at all this hard to block creatures.
Yes,
this
a lot
is really
of evasion
not,
today.
Oh,
he does have it. I almost half expect him to play it right here just so he doesn't die. Yeah.
This matchup
let's get this out of reach.
Really interesting. It's not going exactly how I thought that it would. But I guess that's why we play the games.
That is why you play the games.
Well, we don't just pick a winner up here in the booth.
That's right. Now, Matt has a little army of 1/1s and his Frostborn Weird out there.
Yep.
And David has an active whip.
Yep.
Which is going to make it tough for Matt to close this out.
It's true, though. He did just gain a bunch of life and draw a million cards. They both are back up to 15.
Back up to 15.
There's been a lot of parity. 2 Elspeths. I would not have said the game was this close after 2 Elspeths have resolved.
Nope.
David just has not had much of a problem dealing with that Elspeth at all.
No, he has not. He's found a way.
Part of the liability when you're playing a card like Elspeth, 6-mana investment against these decks that have possibly many Heroes Downfalls, is you're going to tap out, they're going to spend 3 mana and take the rest of their turn.
Yep. Dealing
with your Elspeth. They don't have to take their whole turn. You're going to tap out to play it, and they're going to take like a half turn to deal with it. And that is a tempo loss.
That is
that's not what you want to have happen. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be the downfall for any 6-mana permanent, especially if you're on Matt's side. It looks like he pumped his Frostborn Weird to deal a bunch of damage.
He is definitely racing here. Now, I know that David King is a man that loves to mutilate, and not for the first time tonight, mutilate would look really good right now.
It would look like an MVP right here.
Assuming you can get it to resolve.
It looks like he's got an Obstinate in hand.
He's Obstinate enough.
He says that.
Well, with the whip, it probably is.
Well, the whip says you get... all your creatures get lifelink. He says Zoria's Charm. Put that right back on top. He says it takes 5 because it's Obstinate. Okay.
Drain you for 2. Yep.
Oh.
Syncopated. Never mind. Syncopate, pretty good against the whip. That is exiled, Mr. King.
Exiled. Oh, it does not matter because he's out of juice. Yep. Okay.
All right, well, put up a good fight. I think the matchup probably gets better for David a little bit after board. He can get some of these target removal spells out of there, probably bring in more discard. And there's Fritz collecting deck information for the website, DaytonMagicClubWebsite.com, where you can find the archives of this. You're going to find articles by David King. You're going to find articles from last week's FNM First Place, Noah Ross. You're going to find articles from yours truly, Ryan Johnson, about really whatever catches my fancy. I don't have anything really relevant to say, but you know.
There is a lot of good information on the website.
And you're going to see, as Joe points out, we were going to talk about this, David King's new project. He's going to be starting up a FNM Hero project. For those of you who don't know what an FNM Hero project is, it is you start with a $100 budget. Everything to play Magic's got to come out of that budget. Sleeves, cards, the whole deck.
Entry fee.
And the only thing you're allowed to add to the deck is winnings. So, Dave King's going to build a deck for under $100. He's going to take it to FNM. He's going to play it for 6 weeks. And the only time he's allowed to make additions to the deck is when he wins money. And try to make the most competitive deck he can. It's a really great project to show people how to break in to competitive Magic, even if you don't have a lot of money to spend. Magic's an expensive hobby.
It can be.
I know that when me and our content manager, Joe Plank, got back into competitive Magic, we basically built all of our decks and everything out of one box of M10.
There you go.
And traded for a deck. We built the cheapest mono red you could build, and we just won FNMs and reinvested into it. So it'll be a great guide for anyone that wants to break into the FNM scene. And maybe doesn't know where to get started. Go to DaytonMagicClubWebsite.com.
Yep.
And check out David King's article. He's really looking for deck ideas right now, where he's in that phase. So check out the comments section of that article, and if you have an idea for an interesting deck, his only rule right now is under $100 and no mono red. And his logic there is that mono red is it is cheap, but it's pretty explored.
Yep.
He doesn't think there's a lot of room for innovation there.
Nope.
So we're looking for other ways to attack the metagame.
Yep.
And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what he comes up with. I'm looking forward to seeing his results. And if you want to be a part of that, you should definitely check that out. So, yeah. I would imagine that David King is bringing in... If he's not maxed out on his discard spells, he is now.
Yeah. He's taken out all of his creature removal.
That's not, say, Hero's Downfall.
Yeah, he's not going to take Hero's Downfall. He needs that. But he'll take out Doomblade and silly stuff.
So, if you're Matt L. What is your thought in this matchup?
Well, I'm not sure.
What's good? Counterspell's good?
Counterspells are okay.
Are sweepers good?
Sweepers are okay.
Your planeswalkers are good?
Planeswalkers, okay. Matt L didn't hit any Jaces if he's playing them.
I imagine that he probably is.
Yeah, I would have to venture to guess that Matt L is playing Jace. Okay.
Like,
apparently he does have Jace.
The concept
would
is
be great.
Yes. The concept is this: all his cards seem like okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't name one card that's like really good. That's not like Sphinx's Revelation or something.
No.
So
yeah.
I don't know how much your deck can change after board here.
I don't see where he can really go. This is his Matt L's worst matchup. I mean, it's just the deck is designed to generate card advantage through casting these spells that do stuff, but also typically replace themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of cantrips, a lot of stalling until you hit, sledgehammers like Elspeth or,
right.
6 points Sphinx's Revelation.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. This is a rough match for him. If he can curve out and David stalls a little bit or peters out, then he could take over this game without a problem.
I think that's true. I think what you want to do is hit all your land drops.
Yeah, you can't miss a land drop. That's essential.
Be able to resolve a big threat like an Elspeth or an Aetherling.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know if he has Elspeths and Aetherlings. He definitely has more than one Elspeth. I don't know how many 6-drops he has room for.
Right.
But not be under pressure, so you can just play it with counter magic up.
Yeah.
And then Sphinxes your way into victory.
Yes, he needs to have time. That's what he needs here.
So, mana is very important to both players.
David King says Dotsies.
Let's start this off right.
Let's just get this out of the way. Oh, wow. So he didn't take the sweepers out.
Nope, I don't think you can afford to. It's the only answer to things like Obsidian, or not Obsidian, I'm sorry, but Blood Baron, things like that.
Blood Baron.
So, take the sweeper. David King, though another control deck, is the beatdown in this matchup. He doesn't have counter spells.
He does not have.
He doesn't have Sphinx's Revelation.
He's not reactive.
No.
He is pro.
He's going to have to be the aggressor. Because the longer the game goes, the better it is for Matt, because he has Sphinx's Revelation.
Boom. He's going to read them bones.
Read the Bones seems like a really good Magic card. I've yet to play it.
Yeah. It appears to be a pretty solid card. The 2 life is painful, but in this matchup is
not
relatively unimportant.
He's got the good bones.
He's going to quicken.
So Quicken kind of taking the place of like a Think Twice.
Absolutely. Right now, the only available
Divination.
one mana draw card spell.
And this is kind of an old school kind of matchup. Kind of harkens back to the earlier days of Magic when most interaction took place on the stack, and you just wanted to make your land drops and sculpt your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we see both players doing here, using that's a Ratchet Bomb, which seems fine.
Ratchet Bomb. Interesting. Very interesting.
I bet he has at least one Ratchet Bomb main, and I wonder if he has Trading Posts.
It's possible.
You're starting to see that crop up. Trading Post Ratchet Bomb synergy. It's good with also against your mono red, where you can just gain life with it. So I'm curious. It's a good long-term advantage engine. I would say that in this matchup, Ratchet Bob is just okay.
Oh, boy.
That is a good one.
Demon! Yes, that is a Desecration Demon.
Here is the problem with Demon.
6/6 giant monster. Matt has the answer in hand. And
yep.
In the old detention sphere,
but
he says
Ratchet Bomb is an answer to detention sphere, potentially.
Ratchet Bomb is a standing... He says no thanks.
You figure if he had a...
Oh.
Yep, that's a good one.
Excellent answer.
That is an Underworld Connections.
Since it is 2013, there's no 2-mana answer for Underworld Dreams. That's worthwhile.
So, if you have a Azurius Charm, you probably don't Detention Sphere there, right? You probably want to put the demon on top at least once.
Yeah, at least once.
And take another draw step and see what's going on with it. So, because the Detention Sphere is really good.
Jace.
That's also very good.
Jace right here is awesome, considering he has nothing on the table on the other side besides a Ratchet Bomb.
You can have a Sphinx's or your lands. Couldn't take that Sphinx's Revelation any faster.
He has 6 mana.
Here's the danger of taking that Sphinx's Revelation, though. You know your opponent plays a lot of discard spells.
Dot sees it's mine.
And you are definitely leaving yourself...
Continues to not take it up.
He is using that as a way to remove tokens.
That's exactly right.
It looks like he's written off that demon and is just going to use that to keep Elspeth from being effective. Which seems fine.
He has access to white. He may be playing Glare of Heresy.
Ooh, man, that'd be pretty sweet,
which
wouldn't it?
Would be a sledgehammer in this matchup.
Hero's Downfall.
Jace.
Would you like to read my Hero's Downfall? Hero's Downfall, really good.
Fantastic card. Functional reprint of Dreadbore, except
at instant speed.
It's at instant speed.
It doesn't take any of that pesky red mana.
And it doesn't take any red mana. Just a real upgrade, in my opinion, especially in Standard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a man that likes a Dreadbore.
Yeah.
But Hero's Downfall is certainly very good. It's really interesting to look back when they first put in Planeswalkers, how long we went without a good answer to a Planeswalker, direct answer.
Yes.
And then we had Oblivion Ring, Dreadbore, Hero's Downfall, like, right in a row.
Yes.
As the Planeswalkers got weaker, too. They're no longer... There was a time when Magic was about resolving a Planeswalker.
Yep. Lightning Bolt, yes, was the answer for Planeswalkers.
Let's talk about how good Lightning Bolt is against a plus Jace.
Boom.
Hi.
Hello.
Really good in this matchup. Can't be Detention Sphere.
It cannot.
Can't be Azurius Charmed.
No. The only answer he has for that is a Supreme Verdict. But let's not forget that he still has that Sphinx Revelation.
Yep.
He takes 3 because it's divination.
Yeah, I think that if you're David King, you really wanted a Sin Collector or something.
Yes.
Immediately after that.
You needed to eat that Sphinx's Revelation. As of right now, I'll expect that Matt's hand is protected with a counterspell of some sort. He says, let's just get rid of this.
Well, he is willing to tap out to kill that. So this is your window right here.
This is it. If he peels the Sin Collector, he's going to feel like a big shot. But he didn't. But he did. Is it a whip?
No.
That was an Erebos.
Is that a Erebos God of the Dead?
That is a giant monster. Okay. That card's great.
Yeah, keeps him gaining life.
And it keeps him from getting anything off of... Yeah, he has...
Underworld Connections.
Underworld Connections out. So now he may consider bumping that Ratchet Bomb up in order to get rid of that Detention Sphere and bring that giant monster back to play.
And that would immediately turn on Devotion. And now, of course, Erebos' ability, which is 2 mana, pay 2 life, draw a card, is not as good as Underworld Connection, which is pay 1 mana, pay 1 life, draw a card.
Right.
However, he still is a big man.
He's a big fella. His ability can be used multiple times a turn.
Yeah.
He can't be killed by
anything ever.
Anything ever.
I mean, that obviously.
He can be a Azorius Charm.
He can be a Detention Sphere.
He can be a Detention Sphere
right here. Now it's starting to get really tempting to start ticking up.
Yeah, this is probably where
you got to trade your Underworld Connections for the privilege at this point.
Yeah,
which
may not be something he wants to do.
Yeah.
There's a Sin Collector. It appears to be protected though. Here we go. Boom. What you got, Matt? What you got? He says, "Uh-oh."
I would like to take your Sphinx Revolution.
Matt says, but I don't want you to.
In response, yes.
He says, I'll do this. Very good.
So,
with Erebos off the table, he will gain the life.
Yep.
But instead of being 5 or 6, it's only for 3.
This is true.
Oh, is that a Glare of Heresy? On Matt's side of the table?
What is that, Joe, if you could tell us? The white card in Matt's hand.
What would he play that for? Is that a Glare? Gotta be a Glare. Right?
You can't glare a
Is it
blood
Celestial Flare?
Is it Celestial Flare?
What was that white card, Joe?
Joe, come on, help us out here. We're dying up here.
What was Matt's white card? That's what we want to know.
Well, he just cast it.
Yeah. What was that? Glare.
Glare of Heresy? Was that a Blood Baron he hit with it, though?
No, he hit a Synclicker.
Oh, it's Synclicker. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Which is removed from the game.
Yep.
Which is important in this match.
It's exiled.
Oh, we say that now?
Yeah.
We don't say removed from the game? Yeah. Ryan understands what I'm saying.
If I were David, I would strongly consider ticking up that Ratchet Bomb.
He is scrying right now off of the temple. Says that.
Of course, we know he has a Wrath in his hand. Is that the other card that he left in his hand?
I think he had 2 Wraths.
Yeah. So that's tricky.
So that is real tricky. However, he says Blood Baron. Here you go. Deal with that, big fella.
One of the things that I like, though, about ticking it up is that the Erebos is indestructible. We've already seen 2 Tension Spheres.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that if you just got the Erebos back out and started working on your devotion, maybe Matt runs, and we've seen several of the Azurius Charms.
We have seen, I think, 3.
So he's running out of ways to answer it.
And Supreme Verdict. And okay. He says, go.
Yep.
There
now
we go.
We're on the plan. We've decided that this is our out.
We're on track now.
Can't see what that is. That is off camera.
He says, play a temple and scry, looks like. And in this matchup, the Scrylands, which blue and white, the blue-white Scryland is not out yet.
Yep.
However, the white-black one is.
And it's really good.
And in this matchup, it is a big-time advantage.
Yes, I agree.
He's looking for some cards here. With
the control decks like these Scrylands quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was... I forget... I quote this all the time. And I forget who said... I think it was Kai Bude that said... when Scry was first printed, he thought that Scry was a great way to justify playing more lands, not less.
Yep.
Because you can make all your land drops early and then Scry for action in the late game, as opposed to using your cantrips to find lands. And that really stuck with me. I really like that design, that approach to deck building. And something these control decks, what these temples can do, is you get to play more land.
Yep.
They're not shaving lands because they're scrying. They're adding more lands because they can always scry for action in the late game. I like that a lot. And you can see David King making huge use of scry in this game. He has scryed many times.
Couple read the bones, a whole bunch of temples. He's taking his pick. Here we go. He's counting them out because he needs 5. He has read all them bones.
That is an Obsidat.
Obsidat.
Now, a lot of these blue control decks don't play a lot of counter spells.
Yeah, counter spells these days...
There aren't many good ones.
Aren't so good. Simple as that. In a world of mono red and white green, you're just so far behind the curve. They're not effective cards.
So is that Obsidat? What happened there?
He got removed from the game, I guess.
He's blinked out. That is the reminder to blink it back in to put it on top of the line.
Okay.
I thought so. I didn't see it as Azurius Charm, and I think we might be out of Azurius Charms anyway.
Yep.
This is a brawl.
It really is.
This is much more how I expected Game 1 to go.
Yep.
Which was not at all what happened. David King played a lot of guys and attacked early and often, but this kind of jockeying for position, this resource battle. I think Underworld Connections has made a big difference here.
Yeah.
You look at Matt has Sphinx Revelation once for 3 cards. David King has drawn like 8 cards off of that Underworld Connections.
Yes, he's drawn. Yes, probably close to 8 cards with that. He's also read the bones. What, 3 times, 4 times?
There's Elspeth.
Here's Elspeth. She's bringing some friends.
Now that Ratchet Bomb is no longer an answer to these tokens,
but it will soon be an answer for these detention series. He's getting back Obsidian.
Look at this board.
This is amazing.
There's just not enough room to keep track of all the resources these players have.
No. One thing to consider is that Matt is at 19 life, but David is at 13.
Yes. Oh, that Obsidian will reverse those life totals pretty quickly if given the opportunity.
Yes.
I wonder how many Heroes Downfalls David has left. Do you think he has all 4 of the 75? Seems like a lot.
It's possible.
Costs 3.
Because his strategy is go deep.
Yep. Kill everything.
It may just be where he wants to be.
I might see one right here.
And he says it takes 3. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Lifebane Zombie?
That was either a Lifebane Zombie or a Sin Collector, revealing that Matt has a hand of 3 lands, which means you're all clear.
He says, there you
Heroes
go.
Downfall. Yep.
There you go.
Lifebane Zombie.
That could be enough.
It's tough to, if you're Matt, sit there with completely out of gas, facing down a Obsidian.
Yeah. David could just sit here and do nothing.
And you just blink Obsidian.
Just hang out.
10 times.
Yep.
Matt has no instant speed way to interact with the Obsidian.
It's highly unlikely.
He has no way to get off the board, even if he had Azurius Charms left in his deck, which he may have won.
Yep.
David never has to attack.
No, he can just hang out.
Also, Obsidian double black.
Double black.
For Devotion.
For Devotion.
Should that become relevant? Which it could at any second.
Yeah.
At instant speed.
Exactly.
David can just pop out an Erebos.
A 5/7 indestructible
card. I wonder if he's holding it up to try to do it in response to a Sphinx Revelation, which would be cute.
It would be adorable. Yes.
Said, nope, I'm actually the god of the dead, and you will gain no life.
He says, let's do this. Go ahead.
I like that quite a bit. Why attack?
Yeah, there's no reason to attack. Matt has his 3 soldiers out there, and he also has a mutable.
Yep. And there's one of those lands that
plays an island, and
I like Matt's land.
Matt has
many
good
different
land.
types of lands, and they're all excellent.
Matt has good land taste.
That's the best plains. His plains right underneath that last land he played there. Yeah, they can't see where we're pointing, but that's the best plains. And Lifebane Zombie, man, it just can't be blocked by these soldiers. Elspeth makes soldiers, right?
Yes. 1/1 white soldier. He says swing. David is at 13 life, so
David gladly takes 1.
Is not enough.
He is not afraid.
He says, you know what? Let's do this right now.
Let's do it right now.
Let's just get this out of the way. He's at 9. Okay.
Okay.
Apparently we missed something somewhere. That's okay.
That's right. So Underworld Connections dies.
9. That's plenty. Oh, look at that.
Comes to that. Drain you for 2.
None of those guys have Summoning Sickness, because he did that at the end of Matt's turn.
Yep. Erebos is alive.
He is
alive. A big man.
He's a big old fella.
Interesting point. The Obsidian basically can let you draw an extra card a turn with the Erebos.
Yeah. It's a nice interaction there, a little combo.
Man, I like Obsidian a lot.
Obsidian.
Obviously, that card's insane.
And Sin Collector.
Still have 3 lands, so drew another land.
David right here is thinking, if only I had Electrickery, this could be awesome.
Well, you got to think to yourself, what action does Matt have left? Some Sphinxes and stuff, but like, what way to close out this game?
He really has no way.
So we've seen.
He's right now swinging in for 16.
Man, that's turning the corner and turning it really hard. And I like the pre-combat way to make sure there's no Azurius Charm.
Yep.
Because one of the ways David loses this game is Matt actually has been sandbagging, puts Obsidian back on top, counters it on the way back down, turns off Devotion. That's how Matt could start getting back in this game. And David's playing very, very careful to make sure that he doesn't set himself up for that.
Yep.
Of course, it's about to be academic because it looks like David's about to put this one away. I don't see Matt drawing an answer to that Obsidat in 3 turns.
No.
Aetherling was one of them that could actually race it. But that door is rapidly closing.
Too little, too late. Matt's at 6 now. He's got... David has the Sin Collector out. He has the Demon, the God, and soon to be...
The big boy.
Was he a zombie? Opposite of a zombie?
He is... I want to say that he is a ghost. Because he is the Ghost Council.
That's
He's
exactly
a spirit.
right.
Yes.
Spirit.
Spirit, advisor, legend, vampire.
Superstar.
Yeah.
Giant, unkillable monster.
So.
Well.
Probably not that.
Probably not.
And
Matt sees the writing on the wall.
Matt has seen enough. That was quite a game.
Yes, it was a good game. This is a good example of what happens when you play a control deck against another control deck that can go proactive.
Yes.
Matt's deck is designed to react.
To be very reactive. I'm curious if Matt has an Aetherling. He has at least 2 Elspeths. A lot of these, the older blue-white control decks, played like 1 Aetherling. And that was it.
Yeah.
Matt has at least 1 Mutavault.
Yeah.
At least 2 Elspeths.
Yeah.
How many victory conditions does he have left in the deck? Elspeth isn't as good as Aetherling in this matchup. You'd rather have Aetherling because David has shown that he has many Heroes Downfalls. I think we've seen at least 3.
Yeah, he's definitely packing Heroes Downfall.
And if he has 3, it makes me lean towards saying he may have all 4 in a 75. I'd love to talk to him about it.
Yeah, we'll definitely ask him about it.
I'm very curious as to the makeup of his deck. It looked pretty good there. Joe points out to us there's 13 minutes on the clock. If you had to pick which one of these 2 decks could win a game in 13 minutes, who do you favor?
David's deck by far.
I think that's very true. David's deck is designed to close out a game.
Yes.
Matt's is designed to completely exhaust your resources and win by sheer inevitability.
Yep.
David does not have the benefit of having Sphinx's Revelation, so he cannot do that. He has to play more threats.
Yep.
And as we saw there, Matt had a lot of answers. And David just kept drawing cards.
Yep.
And kept playing threats until Matt literally had like 4 lands in his hand and then died.
David was able to get an Underworld Dreams out, and I think that was the difference in that.
Yes, Underworld Connections was huge there.
What did I say?
Underworld Dreams.
That was also not in play.
A pretty sweet one.
That would have been neat, but we went with Underworld Connections in today's standard.
Yeah. Also, man, that was a card that saw some play for a while.
Yep.
And kind of disappeared by the end of the last standard. And I'm kind of glad to see it back. I think the card is sweet.
I think it's great.
I love it.
I think it's exactly what you want to see in a Magic card in a black-based control deck.
Yep. It's one of the things that both players like their 7. And, being on the play is certainly relevant in a lot of matchups, and this is just not really one of them. It's definitely a matchup of sequencing your draws, developing your resources, and picking your fights. Each player only has so many answers. You saw David really hesitate pulling the trigger on that Ratchet Bomb because he knew he only had X amount of answers left in the deck.
Yep.
And so that's what this matchup really rotates around. Ooh. And here's a threat.
Frostborn Weird.
Wouldn't it be amazing if Frostborn Weird went all the way here?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Frostborn Weird is a superstar right now.
Frostborn Weird, man, that card saw like 0 play in the old standard.
Absolutely.
And now it's like, we've seen it twice tonight.
I got to think that it's because of Anger of the Gods. Because it can survive an Anger of the Gods.
And it's a great blocker.
It is a great blocker.
All right, you can have 2 lands.
You can have these 2 lands.
That's a good split.
And here you go.
And that's a good keep. Now, every time we've seen a Planeswalker from Matt so far, we've seen a rapid Hero's Downfall to answer it. Let's see if we repeat it.
No. Lifebane Zombie. Uh-oh.
Oh, my.
Wow, what a hand.
Oh, my, that is a lot of gas.
That is a whole bunch. Matt's going to untap here.
That is a lot of gas.
He's going to say that. Right here, Matt's going to do what? What's he going to do? He's going to swing.
Yeah.
So why not? What are you going to do? You saw what I got.
It's nothing but Elspeth's
bump it.
forever.
That's okay. Probably going to activate Jace here. It's going to go up. Okay.
Yeah, I like going up because...
Oh, he had a Heliod. Look at that.
Oh, my. Now we're playing Magic the
Well,
Gathering.
that's a really tough card for David to deal with.
Yes. Let's say tough.
Tough.
Man, you know what would be good for David to have in this matchup? A Curse of Death's Hold.
It would be highly
sweet?
effective. Yes. Not an option. Not an option.
He does not have it.
He, in fact, does not have it. He says, let's do this.
Jace, I'm sure. Yep.
And Jace, okay, Jace is down to 1. 1 is what we call just enough.
Heliod makes 2 1s.
Boom.
Well, that's something.
Heliod does make 2 1s, and he himself is indestructible. You got to get your devotion up for him to really show up.
What is he? Is he a 5/6?
He's a 5/6.
That's a big boy.
Gives all of his dudes vigilance.
I think David would like this Blood Baron to stick around for a minute.
He's going to really want that to happen, and I kind of don't think that it's going to...
I don't see a Wrath.
No, he doesn't need a Wrath. He needs to play Elspeth right here.
Well, yes.
And then block with his Frostborn Weird.
Yeah. Well, Elspeth can also -3.
Oh, yeah. You can -3 Elspeth right here. That'd be
There's
fine.
no shame in -3 in Elspeth, which we may or may not see.
We might.
Yes,
he totally
we do.
did it. Very good. Now, he's going to say swing in for 1, because he's got...
Man, Elspeth is really powerful.
That card is great.
Something we've not seen in this match so far is the game when Matt had both his Planeswalkers active.
That is true.
I think it's going to be a different game. I think it's going to be pretty hard for David to overcome.
He's got 2 Planeswalkers out, and he also has a God out. So, yeah. While the gods aren't Planeswalkers, they're pretty good. That particular god can act as a Planeswalker in some ways.
Yeah, agreed.
As a baby
But you can't even attack it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's better.
Oh, boy.
Alright, we saw that do a lot of work. Before that, it's an Obsidian. The Ghost Council.
He says, drain 2. And go ahead.
You know, David's thinking, well, maybe I just drain 2 9 times in a row.
Yep.
Maybe somehow I can live that long. Ooh, Heliod. What is it? So, yeah. Huh.
He's saying it takes 6 because it's Aetherling.
That
is
a Boondock Saints quote from Joe Plank. There. Well.
Aetherling.
We were curious, or I was curious, if he had an Aetherling in addition to all these other finishers. The answer is yes.
Yes, he does.
And if the plan was to hide behind Obsidat and just drain him to death, Aetherling certainly makes that an impossibility.
Yeah, we'll not be able to stall this one out. He says...
Blood Baron.
Blood Baron, fine. Just fine.
It's just fine.
It's just fine. But that Aetherling has vigilance. That Aetherling is going to be unblockable. It's going to be humongous.
It's basically the best thing ever.
He says swing it.
Jace.
Jace.
I like it. You're not killing it. It's not doing a whole lot, but you want to keep him from -2ing it because, like we talked about before, it's a resource struggle, and just letting him draw more cards is not where you want to be.
No.
Life total still relatively irrelevant at this point in the game. But man, that Aetherling is going to do some work.
Yeah. David's in the bad spot.
Yes.
I don't see how he's going to get around the Aetherling unless he somehow plays.
What is this another Elspeth? This is the Elspeth we knew about.
Yep, we knew about that Elspeth. He says, "Get it out of here."
No. Yes.
Yes. Something's going to have to happen with
something.
Because currently his Aetherling will die to that.
+1?
Oh, +1. Oh, let's see what that does. Okay.
Pro white.
But not pro blue.
The thing is that Elspeth is threatening to -3 like anytime it wants to.
Yep.
And the pro white's not going to be able to do it because he has blue blockers. It's almost a shame about that Dayton because this game could have been really another one of those like epically long struggles, like active planeswalkers versus Ghost Council. And I was kind of really curious how that was going to play out. Aetherling is just going to wreck all that by being amazing. Yeah. The Aetherling is going to show
just doing what he does.
Why it's the best finisher we've seen in years.
Yep. David's showing 25, but I don't think that's accurate.
I don't think that is accurate after that Aetherling hit.
Uh-oh.
What is that?
That's a glare. This is glare your Elspeths.
Sure.
David's good at drawing answers for Elspeth.
Yes. His deck is basically mono answers to Elspeth.
That's not a bad plan. Not a bad plan at all. He says, here's
we
this
don't know
thing.
what that last card is.
It takes 5. It's Shadowborn Demon.
I love a Shadowborn Demon.
Wow.
I love a Shadowborn Demon. Matt reads it and is like, okay.
Wow. He says, okay.
Shadowborn Demon targeting.
Chances are good it hits the Frostborn Weird.
Yes.
He may attempt to hit his Aetherling. It's unlikely.
See if Matt has F6'd.
He may attempt to hit it just to move it out of the way and swing for some reason.
Yeah. We are in the tank. David is saying, how am I going to win this game? 4 minutes on the clock.
Move that. Yeah, he did.
Comma, how am I going to draw this game? Joe, can we get confirmation that is correct, David K's life total? We feel like it might be too high considering we thought he took an Aetherling hit.
Yeah, he should have hit it. Should have been hit with an Aetherling. Probably 4 less.
I'm dropping. Okay. I've lost every round, so it's pointless. Okay.
Someone is dropping the tournament.
Dropping from the tournament.
That's always a disappointment.
Quitters never win.
That's so true. That's mathematically certain.
It appears that Matt's considering a block here. Probably a fine decision.
Okay, so yeah, he did. He forced the blink out of the Aetherling so he could get in the attack.
Yep.
And
just get rid of Jace. Sure.
And at this point, again, you want to play to win for sure. But at this point, 4 minutes on the clock, you got to start thinking to yourself, how's this game going to end, and would I rather draw than lose? Not playing slow necessarily, but playing in a way where you're playing a little more defensively. Mm-hmm. Where you're saying to yourself, how much longer can this game go? How many attacks do I have to take from that Aetherling?
Yep. Right now, David is at 26 life. And Aetherling, that's a lot.
That's a lot of life.
And considering his board over here, he's 3, 7, 12, 17 power coming at you next turn. So Matt's
in actually a lot of trouble.
Yes, he's not going to be able to be as aggressive as he would like.
Yes. That Aetherling actually takes like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 attacks to kill David through his board.
Yeah. Aetherling can pump up to 8 power.
David is gaining at least 2 life a turn, minus the Obsidat. Or the Blood Baron. The Blood Baron has potential to gain more than that.
So he's gaining 6 a turn.
Yeah.
As long as he continues to attack.
So at 22 life, the difference between those two is 11 full attacks from Aetherling.
But what happened?
Oh, Shadowborn Demon.
No one to eat.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Well, yeah, he played it as basically a removal spell there, I think.
Right.
More than really anticipating it sticking around.
What's the text on that?
I have to look that up.
It doesn't say you have to, if there are no creatures in the graveyard, sacrifice.
Yeah, or something like that.
Or sacrifice a
creature. Yeah, and his other creatures are all better, except maybe the Lifebane zombie. I may have considered. Well,
he's 5/6 flying.
Yeah, but you're not going to get Lifebane zombie with Intimidate is more damage because next turn you're going to have to sacrifice. You can't sacrifice the Blood Baron.
What's this fella?
Oh, we're at turn 0.
Oh.
At this point, if someone's going to win this game, I think it might be David King if it doesn't go to time.
Uh-huh.
I was sure that Aetherling was going to be an unanswerable threat. It almost always is.
Yep. Right now, being at turn 0.
Whose turn is it at turn 0? I lost track of where we were.
King.
David King is turn 0, which means he gets 3 turns.
He says, bring the team. Oh, that's right. That's Obstinate.
Yeah.
He says,
So, the reason he sacrificed the Shadowboard Demon is because it got to attack once, but then you have to because you can't sacrifice either of the other two guys.
I kind of thought that the Obstinate was the same collector for some reason.
That was foolish.
Yes, and it was incorrect. So he says, I'm going to block here in an attempt to kill him. He is dead. 3 for you. Matt says, I'm at 9.
My goodness.
Because
my
he's got
gracious.
another one.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
All right, I cannot let that happen.
That gets dissolved.
Cannot dissolve it
Which
any faster.
Could be right where he wants to be. He says, remove Obsidian.
Hold on, let me do some math. David will get 2 more turns.
David.
Matt is dead on board right now. David gets 2 more turns.
Although, he says whatever that is. Oh, he made a dude.
Oh, Heliod doing something for the first time.
Now, let's not forget that all of his creatures have vigilance.
That is true.
So,
but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Matt is at 9.
6.
He's going to get drained twice more by Obsidian.
True.
He's going to get attacked twice more by Lifebane Zombie that he cannot block. It's 10 damage.
Currently. What did he draw? He just dissolved.
Obviously, Sphinx's Revelation is insane here.
Yeah, Sphinx's Revelation would be really good.
Matt cannot win this game. I do not think. He just does not have the amount of damage in the 2 attacks he's going to get. I don't think. Maybe he can.
He can get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in.
Can he? Well, it's going to
His turn.
All right, then Obsidian's going to come down.
Mm-hmm. Now, if he were to play something and then get Devotion, then that would be really fun.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Don't see it happening.
This deck doesn't seem particularly good at generating Devotion. I'm pretty sure Heliod is in there as a token maker.
Yeah, it is a mobilization.
Matt needs a Sphinx's Revelation, though.
He needs a Sphinx's Revelation. Needs someone
I think he needs...
generate some life. If he casts Azorius Charm with its
secret mode.
Secret mode, it would be just amazing right here. It'd make me super happy because that's my favorite.
It's pretty good.
It's my favorite. It's the Forgotten mode.
The Forgotten mode.
What's happening?
I was on pins and needles waiting to see how this plays out.
He's doing a lot of rearranging.
Yeah, I know. Looks like maybe... What are you doing?
What are you doing, Matt? It takes 2 blue.
Oh, is he pumping his...
He's pumping Aetherling. Gotta be pumping Aetherling.
And Frostburn Weird, also pumpable.
They pump at the same rate.
Yeah, that's true. But if you have enough mana, why not pump them both?
Well, Aetherling takes colorless, and Frostformer takes blue or red.
Yeah, hybrid. Guild mana.
So I forgot about that. So he can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That can go up to what, 3?
Mm-hmm.
4?
4. It can attack for
4 and then 8 more. He's using it.
That is.
He's doing
my goodness, my gracious.
He's not dying. He's not dying. That's what he's doing.
Don't you die on me.
Don't you die on me, Matt.
Oh my goodness, this is quite a game of Magic.
So if he, I can't tell if he's maxed out or not, but if he did, then he's got. Oh wow, he's at 21. Yeah, he just dealt a ton of damage.
I think if you were David, looking back on this game, you wanted to draw more hand disruption than you did.
Yes, you wanted to find Sin Collector way more. So he's going to say Glare on his Heliod, which is legitimate.
Sure. Why not?
Uh-oh. He said, I'll make
I
a
will
dude.
respond, yep.
making a dude. He says, let's make this dude and that dude. Or just one dude, but
whatever, you know. Now he's got a buddy.
bifurcate.
Leaving
Dudes back to block. David says, go.
David says, I don't want to die. Not like this.
Not like this. This is turn 3?
Once David passes turn, it will be turn 3. Matt's turn.
Turn 3, Matt.
We see a lot of rearranging resources from Matt.
Matt is figuring out how to do this. He needs to deal 18. As it sits, he has...
Man, that was a really good Azorius Charm.
12 on board. He can pump. If he were to attack with the Frostborn Weird and it was blocked and he attempted to pump it, it would die.
Yes.
So he probably won't.
This is the grim truth behind the Frostborn Weird.
Doing that is no bueno. However, it could be worthwhile. He says Jace.
Why not?
He's probably going to ignite too.
Yep.
Which would be the right call. He says Mutavault. Detention Sphere. Uh-oh.
You can have the Detention Sphere 2 lands.
Uh-oh.
David King is like, I really hope you need those lands. Oh, no.
In fact, he does not, because he has
all
lot.
of them.
Uh-oh, that might be enough.
Might be enough. Wow.
I think he's only got 4 on tap, though. Oh, don't play your mana wrong. Leave one blue up. There it is. You need that one.
You got it. Yeah.
You need that one.
You figured it out. That's good. It's real good.
Here it comes.
D-Sphere, yeah.
Splat City.
The very rarely killed Obsidian Ghost Council.
He's not used to dying. And, found an island. Out of his hand. Should be making a fling unblockable. Bring the team. Splat. How much we got? Uh-oh.
Mutavault.
Got a Mutavault hiding back there.
Haha.
Haha, I got you. So, he did make his Aethling unblockable, correct?
I'm not 100% sure. I believe so. I think he played that island tapped.
Yep.
So, that's many damages.
Yes. He's going to say double block.
Block down 2 of your clerics.
Those are cleric enchantments 2/1. He says take a few here. Should be no less than 9.
Turn 4.
We're at turn 4. David, I don't see how he's going to get there.
Nope.
Matt needs to do...
He has enough
10
damage for sure.
Yeah, he's got no blockers. He can make his guy unblockable and pump.
Matt wins on turn 5
Turn
of
5.
turns.
The maximum allotted amount of magic per match.
So you guys got good bang for your buck there.
You go. That is bang.
That was quite a match. The last 2 games played out a lot like I expect this matchup goes, which is long and grindy.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the difference that having an active Underworld Connections made for David. And you saw the difference that hitting those Sin Collectors early and often made for David.
Yes.
Obviously, some very powerful effects he has access to that are very good in this matchup, and when he doesn't draw them, you see Matt pull ahead on his raw resources. So
Matt was able to have both of his Planeswalkers on the table and active for multiple turns.
It's a big deal.
Jace is something that David does not want to see. Elspeth is clearly good, but...
And we saw in Game 2, David had... Every time Matt had a Planeswalker, David had an instant... He never got more than 1 activation.
Right.
And that was a big part. Although Matt didn't necessarily draw that many cards more than David did,
no.
Every time you activate a Planeswalker, you're getting fairly close to a card's worth of value. And just let him go unanswered for as long as... Don't don't know what the standings look like. We'll update those and see whether the table 1 is going to be able to draw or if they're going to have to play it out.
Yep.
And we will bring you what we consider the best match. If table 1 is playing, we'll bring you that match. If they are drawing, we will find the most exciting match still playing and give you guys that one for round 5. We'll also get the prizes and everything updated for you. Once again, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Noah.
From Dayton Magic Club Live here at Gamehaven, Riverside, Ohio. That was a great match, and I can't wait for round 5.
All right.
All right, join us.